Did you know that over 1 million Shona people now call South Africa home, turning towns like Yeoville into Little Harare and keeping Sadza, Mbira music, and Shishona alive thousands of kilometers from Zimbabwe? This is their incredible story of struggle, triumph, and unbreakable spirit. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about the Shona people living in South Africa, how they migrated and how they've settled, and how they continue to stay connected to Zimbabwe. Let's jump right in. Who are the Shona people? The Shona are the largest ethnic group in Zimbabwe, making up over 80% of the country's population, and are known across southern Africa for their rich cultural heritage. Great Zimbabwe's stone ruins, the haunting sound of the mbira, intricate basket weaving, and a deep spiritual connection to ancestors. Over the last 3 decades, hundreds of thousands of Shona people have crossed the Limpopo River into South Africa due to economic, political, and unemployment push factors. Today, they form one of the biggest and most visible Zimbabwean communities outside Zimbabwe itself. From the bustling streets of Johannesburg's Hillbrow and Yeoville to the townships of Cape Town, the factories of Gauteng, and the farms of Limpopo and Mpumalanga, Shona voices, food, music, and churches have become a permanent part of South Africa's landscape, creating a vibrant Little Harare in the heart of the Rainbow Nation. Migration history, early movement. The movement of Shona people into South Africa is much older than the recent exodus. For centuries, trade routes linked the Zimbabwe plateau with the south. Shona craftsmen exchanged gold, ivory, and cloth for beads and cattle long before colonial borders existed. Family ties across the Limpopo River never fully disappeared. Clans still share totems and ancestral stories on both sides. When the Witwatersrand gold mines opened in the late 1800s and early 1900s, thousands of young Shona men from Mashonaland and Manicaland joined the waves of migrant laborers recruited by the Chamber of Mines, going to Johannesburg, and spent months or years underground sending money and blankets home. Later, during the Rhodesian era, many Shona crossed again to work on the citrus farms and tobacco estates of Limpopo and Mpumalanga, or as domestic workers in Pretoria and Johannesburg. These early journeys, often seasonal or circular, built deep networks of cousins, former schoolmates, and church friends that would prove vital when much larger numbers fled Zimbabwe's crisis after 2000. Long before the word xenophobia entered everyday speech, Shona feet had already walked these paths for generations. After the 1990s, the end of apartheid in 1994 changed everything. South Africa's borders became more porous, its economy boomed, and the new democratic government welcomed skilled workers from across the region. For Shona people facing growing unemployment and political tension in Zimbabwe during the late 1990s and early 2000s, the pull southward was irresistible. Teachers, nurses, engineers, artisans, and thousands of ordinary job seekers crossed the Beit Bridge border, some legally with visitor or work permits, many more informally, chasing the promise of rand salaries. By the mid-2000s, hundreds of thousands of Shona speakers were living and working in every South African province. From the townships and inner-city flats of Johannesburg to the vineyards of the Western Cape and the coal mines of Mpumalanga, Shona voices, food, music, and churches have become a permanent part of South Africa's landscape, creating a vibrant Little Harare in the heart of the Rainbow Nation. The story of Shona in migration to South Africa has a long history of migration. The story of Shona migration to South Africa is deeply intertwined with the two countries' shared history, and the direction of refuge has not always flowed south. During the darkest years of apartheid, when South African liberation fighters faced imprisonment or death, newly independent Zimbabwe, especially under Robert Mugabe's government in the 1980s, became a vital haven for thousands of Sa exiles. Many Shona families in Masingo, Harare, and Mutare opened their homes to South African comrades, offered shelter, schooling, and training camps, while Zimbabwe's borders remained a safe passage to freedom. Shona ordinary people shared their sadza with strangers fighting the same struggle against white minority rule. That spirit of solidarity and hospitality, born in the liberation era, still lives in the collective memory of many Shona people today. Even as the tables turned after 2000 and it was South Africa's turn to open its arms, however reluctantly at times, to hundreds of thousands of Shona brothers and sisters fleeing crisis at home. The journey across the Limpopo has always been a two-way street of mutual refuge. Where do Shona people settle? Shona people have settled in every corner of South Africa, but they cluster most thickly in a few places. In terms of geographic concentration, the largest Shona communities found in Johannesburg, Pretoria, Cape Town, Durban, Polokwane, and Limpopo rural border areas. Johannesburg and Pretoria are the business and professional hubs, work and daily life in South Africa. Shona migrants work in many sectors, including construction, retail, domestic work, healthcare, security, teaching, small business, and street trading. Some professionals face challenges getting their qualifications recognized, so many start again from the bottom before working their way up. For others, survival depends on the informal economy, selling goods across the border or running small businesses in busy towns and cities. Documentation and legal challenges. Because of tight immigration policies, many Shona migrants deal with difficult visa processes, refused permits, overstaying, fear of deportation. This lack of documentation makes people vulnerable to job exploitation, low wages, and limited access to services like healthcare and education. Culture and community in South Africa. In South Africa, Shona culture stays strong and unbroken inside people's homes and hearts. Almost every family speaks Chishona at the dinner table. Children are taught to greet elders, and parents still insist on Rora negotiations, Bira ceremonies for the ancestors, and proper respect for the ancestors. On weekends, the smell of sadza, muriwo, and roadrunner chicken drifts out of flats in Yeoville, Delft, or Soshanguve, while kapenta and mufushwa, bought from Zimbabwean spaza shops, keep the taste of home alive. Churches remain the true center of community life. White-garmented apostolic sects gather under trees or in hired halls. Pentecostal congregations like AFM and Family of God fill stadiums with gospel music and clapping, while Anglican and Catholic Zimbabwean fellowships meet quietly in borrowed church buildings. These churches give far more than spiritual comfort. They welcome new arrivals straight from the border, feed them, find them a bed, connect them to jobs in security or cleaning, and stand with them through funerals, weddings, and every crisis. Alongside the churches, hundreds of WhatsApp groups Shona Gauteng, Masingo Soweto, Manicaland Cape Town work day and night, posting flats to rent, driver jobs, warnings about police raids, or pleas for help with school fees. Through language, food, tradition, church, and these digital village squares, Shona people have built a strong, supportive home away from home where no one ever feels completely alone. Identity. For Shona people in South Africa, identity is a daily balancing act, proudly Zimbabwean, yet unavoidably shaped by their new home. Adults hold tight to Chishona, Sadza, Rora, and Sunday church, but the younger generation, born in Yeoville flats or raised in Cape Town townships, speak a fluent mix of Chishona, Zulu, Xhosa, Soto, and township Tsotsital. They dance Jerusalema at family weddings, yet know every Amapiano move. Greet elders with Makadi, then switch instantly to Sawubona for South African friends. This beautiful blend creates confident Shona South African youth who can switch codes without missing a beat. Yet, beneath the pride lies pain. Regular insults of makwerekwere, being chased from spaza shops, violent xenophobic attacks in 2008, 2015, 2019 and beyond, police demanding bribes because you are from Zimbabwe, and the constant whisper that you do not truly belong. These experiences leave scars on the soul, making many Shona people keep one foot ready to move again even after 20 years of building a life here. Despite the warmth of community and the richness of their mixed identity, discrimination keeps the question alive. Will South Africa ever fully accept us as part of itself?
Challenges faced by Shona people. Shona people in South Africa face tough daily battles that test even the strongest spirit. Jobs are scarce and fiercely contested, so many end up in low-paid back-breaking work. Security guards on 12-hour night shifts, piecework on farms, cleaning offices before dawn, where bosses exploit their lack of papers by paying late or not at all. Without South African IDs or proper permits, they are shut out of clinics, social grants and decent housing, forcing families to pay cash for every doctor visit or school fee. Xenophobic violence remains a terrifying reality. Sudden attacks on foreign-owned spaza shops, looters burning shacks in the townships, or mobs shouting, "Go back to Zimbabwe," have left people homeless, injured or dead, and smaller flare-ups ever since. Homesickness is constant. Parents cry quietly when video calling children left with go back home, and funerals are the hardest because many cannot afford to fly the body back for burial. Yet, in the middle of all this pain, Shona resilience shines. Through churches, WhatsApp groups, Stockvels, and sheer hard work, people lift one another up. Strangers become family. Small tuck shops grow into businesses. Nurses study further and open care homes, and children of the struggle graduate and send money home. Against every obstacle, the community keeps building successful lives, proving that no amount of hardship can break the Shona spirit. Staying connected to Zimbabwe. For Shona people in South Africa, staying connected to Zimbabwe means more than phone calls. It means a steady river of hard-earned rands flowing north across the Limpopo every week. Almost every nurse in Pretoria, security guard in Johannesburg, or farm worker in Louis Trichardt sets aside a portion of their salary the moment it lands in the bank. Through Mukuru, Hello Paisa, informal Omolaicha drivers, or WhatsApp money agents, they faithfully send money for school fees so that siblings and cousins can stay in class, for hospital bills when parents fall ill, for bricks and cement to finish the rural homestead in Murechwa or Chivi, or simply for maize meal and cooking well so the family back home can eat. One modest South African wage often keeps an entire extended family alive in Zimbabwe. People joke that one person works in Jozi, 20 eat in Arale. This duty is heavy. Sometimes the sender goes hungry or delays their own dreams, but refusing to help is unthinkable. Sending money home is not just financial support, it is love made visible, proof that no matter how far away you live, you have never really left Zimbabwe behind. Constant communication. Smartphones have shrunk the distance between Johannesburg and Harare to almost nothing. Every evening, Shona homes in Yeoville, Soshanguve, or Delft light up with WhatsApp video calls. A father in Pretoria watches his daughter blow up birthday candles in Mutare. A mother in Cape Town scolds her son in Masivingo for bad grades. And whole families squeeze around one phone on Christmas morning to sing and pray with Gogo under the mango tree. Group chats named Mashonaland West Family, Chivi Pegao Tang, or Manikaland Cape Town never sleep. They share news of births, deaths, lobola negotiations, and urgent pleas for school fees. Chat services from ZAOGA City Temple in Harare or Prophetic Healing and Deliverance Ministries are live-streamed every Sunday, so people in South Africa can shout Amen and sow their seed online in real time. Major family decisions, funerals, weddings, naming ceremonies, even disputes over land are debated and settled across borders, with uncles in Polokwane and aunties in Chitungwiza all having their say. Thanks to these glowing screens, no one is ever truly far away. Zimbabwe is always just one tap away, keeping family bonds strong and unbroken no matter how many years someone has lived south of the Limpopo. Cross-border travel and trade. Because South Africa is close, many travel back and forth regularly. Buses between Harare and Johannesburg operate daily. Some migrants run cross-border businesses, buying goods in South Africa and selling them in Zimbabwe. Family networks are now generations strong,
with children born in Johannesburg or Cape Town who call both Zimbabwe and South Africa home. From their base in Mzansi, many Shona people remain passionately engaged in Zimbabwean politics, following every election, fundraising for flood victims. At the same time, a confident new Shona South African generation is rising. Young people who greet elders with makadi but cheer for the Springboks, cook sadza one day and pap the next, and move effortlessly between Shona praise songs and amapiano beat. This hybrid identity, proudly Zimbabwean yet rooted in South Africa, is weaving itself into the fabric of the Rainbow Nation, ensuring that Shona language, food, faith, and spirit will echo through these streets for decades to come. Final say. The story of the Shona in South Africa is a powerful testament to resilience, adaptation, and unbreakable connection. From the early mine workers and farm laborers of a century ago to the millions who crossed the Limpopo after 2000, Shona people have faced exploitation, xenophobia, poverty, and heartbreaking distance from loved ones, yet they have refused to be broken. In the bustling flats of Yeoville, the townships of Cape Town, and the citrus farms of Limpopo, they have built vibrant communities where Shona rings out, sadza steams on stoves, churches overflow with song, and WhatsApp groups keep families close. They work tirelessly, often in the hardest, lowest-paid jobs, to send money home for school fees, medical bills, and rural homesteads, while raising a proud new generation that dances to both Gerusarema and amapiano beats. This hybrid identity, proudly Zimbabwean yet rooted in South Africa, is weaving itself into the fabric of the Rainbow Nation. If you've been inspired by the resilience and richness of the Shona community in South Africa, hit that like button, share this video with someone who needs to hear this story, and subscribe with notifications on so you never miss the next chapter. Drop a comment below. Have you met Shona people in Mzansi? What surprised you most? Let's get the conversation going, and together let's celebrate the cultures that make Southern Africa so beautiful.